It's 8 o'clock, we'll call the meeting of the Ramsey County Commission to order. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to thank everybody for coming today in person and online. I guess we can go ahead and run down the agenda items. First item on the agenda would be the approval of the January 16th minutes.
I'll move to approve. Second those.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bills.
I'll move to approve bills. Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve bills as submitted. Roll call, please.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Volk,
Aye.
Britt.
Aye. Bills are paid. Financial reports. Any questions for Candy on the financials?
I'll move to approve the financial reports. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financials as submitted. Roll call, please.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Britt.
Aye. Financials are approved. Treasurer's checks.
I move to approve that.
We have a motion,
Second.
second to approve the treasurer's checks. Roll call, please.
Otis,
Aye.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Britt.
Aye. Treasurer's checks are paid. Agenda, anybody have anything additional for the agenda today?
I'll move to approve the agenda.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Elizabeth, egg values. Good morning.
Good morning. I was told to push a button.
Right in the front there. There you go. Perfect.
Good morning. I just wanted to attend the meeting to provide you with an update on agricultural values for 2024. No decisions are needed to be made today. This is just purely for me to give you some information. Each year, the tax commissioner of the state of North Dakota provides tax equalization offices with estimates of the agricultural value per acre. The current value provided to Ramsey County states that our agricultural value for 2024 should be set at $728.37 per acre. We are allowed a 10% allowance. Our current 2023 average value per acre is $705.20. Ron Higgin from the Department of Agribusiness and Applied Economics at North Dakota State University stopped by my office in January. We were able to briefly discuss how each year he takes into consideration three main factors to calculate ag land values. These include production data, the cost of production index, and the capitalization rate. NDSU calculates this information and provides their findings to the state tax commissioner. Most counties in North Dakota have seen a decrease in agricultural value per acre for the 2024 assessment. The counties contiguous to Ramsey County, which include Nelson, Benson, Towner, Cavalier, and Walsh counties, saw this decrease. Many factors contribute to this decrease, including the cost of production index. This index was higher this past year, thus contributing to the lower values. With our current agricultural land value of $705.20 being in tolerance, an adjustment would not be needed for 2024. This decision will be voted on by you at the tax equalization meeting that is held the first Tuesday in June. Just wanted to give you that. I think you each received the printout that the state sends our office showing all the counties and what they provided us to be within tolerance to. And each year I just try to bring it in when I get the letter so everybody knows kind of what you're looking at come June.
Anybody have any questions for Elizabeth this morning?
on here, all agricultural, 728.37, you have in here writing 705.20.
That's what we're currently sitting at.
Anything else? If not, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. Moe, welcome. Steve Moe, IT GIS coordinator for the county, talking about some IT grants.
Yes, I applied in September and you received approval for $40,000 or $40,000 grant, which 80% covered by the feds and about 5% by the state. So 15% would be the county cost if we would approve this for, we are, yes, it was planned to work for a network upgrade and see some of the terms that they require have changed since the beginning, but so we can take some creative measures to get all of it done, but I think.
So we were granted $33,820, and you're looking for the 6180.
I would have that in my budget, but yes, I just need commission approval to accept the grant.
I'll move to approve and accept the grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the grant for network upgrades, security upgrades that Mr. Moe has applied for. Further discussion?
You said some of the criteria changed.
Yeah, I guess now they won't allow us to drill any new holes or attach anything to the walls or floors, so they kind of eliminates running wires to places that don't have it and just installing a new rack or something on the wall. So, yeah, we may have to come up with different funds for that sort of thing.
Oh, you can do it, you just can't use this funds for it.
Right.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like some condensed timeline or something that it had to get done on now or
No,
something like that.
It's not that you can't do it, you just gotta use different funds. If we were to cut up an outlet box in, you gotta have that.
correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Basically to buy the equipment, things like that.
Yeah, so it'll be more of the equipment install.
Further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you going through that. Mr. Fieldson, welcome.
Okay, to start off, we got our semi-load of salt from NCS Minerals in Canada, and the price of that was $3,598.48. So I'd like to entertain a motion to pay that invoice.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay NCS Minerals out of Canada for a load of salt, $35.98.48. Roll call, please.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Hodis,
All right.
Bulk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Britt.
Aye. Motion carries. Continue, please.
We got our new tractor and snow blower from Butler. If you remember, we spec'd a 1-year-old tractor, but there ended up being only 14 hours on that 1-year-old tractor, so virtually new. And the invoice for those two were $280,450. So I'd like to entertain a motion to pay for them.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second to go ahead and pay Butler Equipment for the new tractor and snow blower we ordered. And this has been ordered for quite some time, I think.
Yeah, 6 months.
So, $284.50 would be the amount. Roll call, please.
280, yeah.
$284.50. $280,450.
180.
It is 280,450 on it for bills. Yeah, there's additional bills on there, like other parts and stuff that we got.
Okay, so I'm sure that,
Right.
sorry,
No, no problem. Roll call, please.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Otis,
Alright.
Volk.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Also Wang's, I did get our truck plow for hitch all put back together and repaired, so the invoice on that was $8,675, so I'd like to entertain a motion to pay that invoice.
I would so move.
Second.
Motion and a second to go ahead and pay Wang's repair for the truck and plow hitch. Invoice is $86.75. Roll call, please.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Brett.
Aye. Motion carries.
Also, Clemens Root, did get, Clemens Root Plumbing and Heating did get the furnace in the new Prairie shop. And the invoice is exactly what they had quoted us for $2,850. I'd like to entertain a motion to pay that.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay the invoice to Clemens Roots Plumbing and Heating. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Otis,
Aye.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Brett.
Aye. Motion carries.
Also, we have a bill from the DOT for our share of the bridge inspections that were done last fall. These were actually the underwater inspections that they did for us. So our percentage share is $3,572.43.
You know how many bridges that was?
There was two. I think it's a 80-20 or 80-20 split. We paid 20.
So moved to pay the 3572.43.
Second.
Motion and a second to go ahead and pay ND North Dakota Department of Transportation for bridge inspections, $3572.43. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Volk,
Aye.
Otis,
Alright.
Gessner,
Aye.
Brett.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, and along with that invoice, the state is asking for where we got our local match from. It's a signature page that the auditor and the chairman has to sign. So I'm looking for a motion to have the auditor and the chairman sign that signature page.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to go ahead to have auditor and chairman sign that matching, where the matching funds came from for the DOT invoice. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And we got another invoice from the DOT for our share of the engineering on the box culvert that was finished in Ramsey County 4, or installed in Ramsey County 4. That was also 80-20 split. So our share is $5,893.03. So looking for a motion to pay that.
Yeah, was that the last?
That bridge isn't quite done yet, we still gotta pave, so that's probably not the last bill we'll see on that particular project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and pay DOT for our share of our engineering on the box culvert project on Ramsey 4. Invoices $8,500 or $5,893.03. 5893.03. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Otis,
Aye.
Brett.
Aye. Motion passes.
Okay, then we met with both, the state for both townships that were awarded grants. The state wants us to act as the bank, basically. All the invoices will run through us. Eventually, we'll have to sign some sort of agreement to that effect. I haven't seen that paperwork yet, but just so you're aware, it's almost $1 million for those two townships that we have to pay the bills for. And then we turn them in for reimbursement, and there's like a 2 or a 3 week turnaround before we get our money back. We're 100% grants, so there's
Just
no match.
money out, money in.
Right, exactly. And I talked to Candy about it, I think we haven't figured out how we're gonna do it, but just so you guys are aware that that's gonna be going on. And eventually we will have to sign some sort of contract with the state saying that we agreed to do this.
Is that
And it's a rare, I mean, this is, no, it's not normal. I mean, it's happened before, but it's rare. Yeah.
They just don't wanna ram around the project, or?
Well, they're concerned about how the money will get paid, like if they were to let the township pay for the invoice, they probably don't have that kind of money in their accounts either. So they don't know how they would pay the contractor to get reimbursement. That's the thing, is they want the contractor paid first with proof that you paid them. Before they'll, yeah, the state does, before they'll reimburse the money. That's their way of proving that it was paid. Yeah, any more questions? I think we haven't figured out how to do it, but just so you're aware that that's going on. It's gonna be a big sum of money there for a couple, 3 weeks, a month.
Not like the whole $1 million will come due all
No,
at one time,
correct.
so I mean, it's not gonna be.
Right.
We just have to keep track of the,
Yep.
what's sent, what came back, like, make sure we got it all.
And hopefully the 2 to 3 weeks is 2 to 3
Yeah.
weeks.
That's
Not
very,
2 to 3
very,
months.
Yeah.
very good point, because they're short help out there too. Yeah. But that's what they told us at the meeting, that it would be a 2 to 3 week turnaround, which I'm sure.
So this is a big project then?
Yeah, the one in South Minnewacan is 900,000 or something like, roughly. So yeah, I mean, let's just assume the contractor got it done in 2 weeks, which probably won't happen, but then his bill would be the total 900,000. So we'll probably have 2 invoices from the contractor, half each time. I'm guessing, because they'll be able to work that fast.
We really don't have a choice, otherwise they don't have the money to do
Yeah,
it.
if we don't agree to it, then they won't get their grant, right? Correct.
Be their bank, I guess. So
You
this
need a motion for that then?
When we sign the contract, I'll ask for a motion then, but just so you're aware that this is going on for now. The contract will be coming from the state later on.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, the Dakota Power Cooperative has filled out an approach, or met for an approach for the substation 4 miles south of Hamden on Ramsey 3. The approach is already there, they had installed it already as a temporary approach so they could get transformers in there, they need to get a big crane in. And now that that is all finished, they're thinking that maybe future maintenance might be an issue, so they'd like to leave the approach there. They did a really good job of putting that approach in, it's, safe side slopes and everything, so
With
I was-
they have a culvert in it.
There is a culvert there, plenty big enough. And in sections, seeded, everything, so I mean, they're doing it right. So I guess I'm just looking for approval for that permanent approach.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and allow the temporary approach 4 miles south of Hamden on Ramsey 3 from Mid-Dakota Power, from temporary to a permanent.
Correct.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, and then the last thing I have is the equipment that we were trying to sell. I'm thinking of maybe having an online type auction, maybe get some better money, and then Candy and the rest of the people here won't have to mess around with it. It'll be done by a auctioneering firm or somebody. We'll have to pay our percentage of the sale, but it'll be a lot less work for everybody here. Plus, I'm thinking we'll get more money for our stuff.
Can
So
you
we just,
refresh my memory on what that is?
we got like some, a gravel truck and a farm tractor, and the rest is stuff that we haven't used, like a asphalt machine is out there, and a little tiny steel face roller, and what else is out there?
Box
Oh,
scraper
little
tractor,
Smaller farm tractor.
old Bros room.
We had earlier declared it surplus, that was probably 3-4 months ago that we
Yeah.
declared it surplus. Now that the snow is gone, it might, they're all sitting there, it might be a good time for somebody to take pictures as well, something.
No.
So just looking for your approval to go that route, rather than have an auction here in this room.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and allow the highway department to put the surplus equipment on an online auction. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's all I have, unless you have something for me.
No? Anybody have anything for Kevin?
You really do what I had.
Just that we had, myself, I received my level 3 road scholar, road pro. So I graduated the North Dakota LTAP training. And then we had 2 guys at the highway department also received their level 1s, Brenton Axman and Brent Engelbert. So that was an exciting week last week at North Dakota Association of County Engineers. Got a little recognition for Ramsey County.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Appreciate your guys' hard work. Thank you. Chris, you wanna run over and ask the water board to pop in, please? Thank you. I think Dwayne had a few updates for us. And then we'll get on to Sheriff Lang.
On his way.
Thank you. Morning, guys. Come on up to the podium, Dwayne. We're high-tech and fancy-ancy.
Yes.
You gotta push that little guy with talking on there. There you go.
Perfect,
Wow.
thank you.
Okay. Well, we finished with our audit report, and then we were suggested to go to a local accounting firm to do some setups, and they've come over and looked at the books and what we've been doing, and they're very satisfied, and they said if we have any problems or anything, they're glad to come over. And they'll once a year come over and review all of our transactions. And then at 9:30 this morning, we're meeting with Cavalier Water Board down here, and we're gonna go over grain 10 that we're trying to get up for a vote, so that's about what all we got going. I mean, we got other stuff, but minor things.
Any questions for Dwayne?
Okay, see you, done?
Yep, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Sheriff Lang.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here for today is I got 2 bids for new vehicles, for the sheriff's department. Chevy, the Tahoes, we didn't get a bid from them. They couldn't even order until July. So that kind of took them out of the equation, and they even said they didn't know if they could get the Tahoes because they're in such high demand. So I got prices on the Ford Expedition and the Dodge Durangos. The Expeditions come in at $52,886, where the Dodge Durangos come in at $43,407 a unit. My recommendation, what I'm asking for is approval to purchase 2 Dodge Durangos. And that kind of go with our fleet, that's what we've currently been running, so. And we've had good success with them.
Did you just say you had a 1 engine on the one last meeting?
Yes. But I mean, for all the vehicles that we go through and everything, and it was covered under warranty. So.
Oh, okay.
So this updates all the vehicles, this isn't gonna be like next year, you need 2 more.
Yeah, we'll need 2 more next year. Because they're rotating out. Most of these are gonna be 4 to 5 year old cars. They got 140,000 miles, if not more.
And then we're gonna auction those off, or what's the,
Trade in.
for trading?
We trade in or we keep them back for spares.
So this is with no trading,
No trade in fees.
Does any of the add-on equipment transfer over, or is that something that with the older vehicles doesn't transfer to the newer ones? Like the,
Most of the stuff will transfer over.
Okay.
When I found out with this Dodge Durango, they changed the cabin style a little bit, so my cages aren't gonna work. So I'm gonna get stuck by the cages.
and this was all in your 2024 budget for this year?
That's correct.
Looking for a motion to approve the purchase of 2 Dodge Durangos for $43,407 per vehicle. Anybody want to entertain that motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second to go ahead and allow Sheriff Lang to go ahead with the purchase of those 2 vehicles. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I guess that's all I had for you, unless you got something for me.
No? Anybody have anything for Sheriff Lang? Continue the great work. Appreciate you guys. Unfinished business. Floodplain administration. Mr. Jager, you have anything you'd like to add? We do have that meeting with the township scheduled for Monday, is it? Monday the 12th, 10 a.m. Yep. And those resolutions have gone out to all townships and looking for their cooperation in signing those. So it's imperative that they either do that or at least show up at the meeting on Monday to discuss that, get more information from state FEMA director. I think, is Tyler gonna be here?
He says he'll be here.
Or at least nothing else, be virtual, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so, Daniel, I know you and Bo have been working on the resolutions for the townships. And do you have anything you'd like to add?
Not at this time. As as you may or may not be aware, I recently just joined the state's attorney's office, and so I'm starting to take point on these things, and I'm familiarizing myself. I just sat down with Mr. Jager yesterday to get some information just firsthand, and I'm digging in to see what can be done for that situation, other than what is already being done.
Like drinking from a fire hose, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Well, thank you. Anything else that you can think of, Chris? Anybody else, commissioners, have any questions regarding that?
So the township that has chosen not to, they still should come?
Have they signed the resolution?
I don't know that, but I think they have.
Okay. Well, if they're available, they can come. We'd certainly appreciate, the more participation, the better, but, and maybe they have the opportunity to change their mind once they hear, all the information being presented.
Highly, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Highly advisable to update the county's records.
Yep. And I know this, land use authorization, township, will be discussed again at the legislative level. It's currently going through an interim study. That interim committee meets Tuesday in Bismarck, and I know this is part of their agenda that they will be discussing on Tuesday in Bismarck on the 13th. So I haven't seen their full list of agenda yet, but if anybody wants to go online and listen to some of the testimony presented in the previous two meetings that this committee has had, it's available at nd.ledge.gov, I think, or ledge.nd.gov. It's underneath the legislative branch of the North Dakota State website, and then interim committees. It's Ag and Natural Resources, I think, is the committee that's doing this study. So, yeah. If anybody has any questions, reach out to Chris. Hearing nothing else, we'll continue moving on. A new business. Approve of abatement list, and there was a plethora of abatements that have been filed. And Candy had put those out in a spreadsheet format instead of each individual one. And so those are part of the treasurer's checks that we received, or we approved earlier, was these credits that have been for part of these abatements.
I'll move to approve the abatements.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the abatements as listed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And those lists continue to grow on, I think, a daily basis. I think, did Lisa say they have an opportunity to go through the 31st of March? She did want to indicate that since this is a reimbursement to the county from the state, that some of our political subdivisions, especially ones with a larger receiving tax dollars, such as Devils Lake Public Schools, may be waiting for some of their funds until this is reimbursed from the state.
Because there's nothing you can do about that.
Right. June, she was thinking? Yeah,
I mean, if they apply for it and they get it,
yeah,
it's legit, it's legit.
yeah. So,
Kind of out of our hands on that.
I know the treasurer just wanted to make political subs aware of that situation. So if they're short of money, this is part of it, yep. Okay. Abatements have been approved. Moving on, County Commission Conference. North Dakota County Commission Association is having a summit on March 20th with a welcome social gathering the evening of the 19th. That is at the Bismarck Ramada Hotel, and if people took a look at that agenda, it looks like some very valuable information for us county commissioners. It's always good to network with your fellow peers from across the state, see what's working in their county and see what's maybe not working in some of their counties. And we can share some of our experiences. I did go ahead and I registered myself, if others have interest in that. But one of the things that I'd like to bring up with that is potentially not having a second March meeting. Because we're scheduled to meet Tuesday the 19th. So if you're heading down to Bismarck to attend that conference, we would be short of that meeting. That's usually a pretty light meeting anyway, but if we get it out far enough in advance, departments, public can make sure that they have all their stuff to us for March at our first meeting that month instead of waiting till the second one. And Candy's gonna be gone as well that week, so it really worked out well. Not sure why the County Commission Association schedules things for a Tuesday, knowing that most county commissions meet on Tuesdays, but nonetheless, I think the Wednesday agenda looks really beneficial for a lot of really good information for commissioners. So with that, I would like to maybe hear a recommendation or a motion from the board to not have a second meeting in March.
So,
Second.
Motion and a second, further discussion? Questions about that conference?
What is the deadline for registering? You know, off the top of your head? I can look it up too, I guess.
I think they would probably accept that, anytime.
I'm just not sure I can make it yet, but
We can let you know, Kathy, or would you rather have us go on to it?
I was just looking at what you said. Let me, you can let me know. Cause I'll contact them to see if they'll direct bill.
It says that your county will be billed 50 for the registration, so it must be correct.
The Association of County Commissioners
Yeah.
would,
But that's
that's
just,
just for the conference
that's the
itself.
conference,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not the, hotel.
Yeah, it doesn't say if there's a deadline.
It just says if you cancel, you would be refunded.
And it does compile or comply with North Dakota Century Code regarding quorums. No need for a public notice if county commissioners plan to attend. We're covered that way. Did we vote on that?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Any further discussion on the conference? So bypassing or canceling the second meeting in March to allow commissioners the opportunity to attend. I did talk to the Star at the LEC as well, because the 20th is LEC meeting. We're gonna change that date for the LEC. And so without further discussion, we'll go ahead. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Second meeting in March is canceled. Law enforcement, Lake Region Law Enforcement, JPA. So we've gotten some minor changes with JPA as from the last time we've approved it. And I don't think there was anything in there that we couldn't live with. Had a discussion with Bo yesterday on this. And I'm not sure if any of the other commissioners have any issues with anything that was listed in there. Some of the things that were highlighted within that was the appointing of county representatives to that. And I think it's
Page 3.
under page 3. Apart from LR, LEC directors, all representatives serving on a board shall be required to serve as a duly elected commissioner in their respective governing body. And so the LEC's attorney, Mr. Swanson, was stating that, well, what if a commissioner vacates their position mid-election and we have to appoint somebody that isn't duly elected? And
Why would they appoint them, we just let someone else take the duty appointment from the commission?
it certainly could, you know, whether or not that, you know, and I think Howard's argument was that, you know, what if we appointed somebody that was appointed to the commission, or whether it be a city or the county, to fill a vacant position. And so was the highlighted stuff eliminated, Daniel, or was it kept in?
So, you're probably looking at a black and white copy.
I am.
There are multiple different kinds of highlights. Some are in red, some are green, some are purple. The changes that were received from the city of Devils Lake are generally grammatical and syntax issues that they identified. My understanding is most of what is in green and what was added was what was already approved by this board. And so the additions or changes made by the city are simply non-substantive changes. Unless anybody identified something entirely new that they did not see before, there are no substantive changes from the city.
Do we want to go ahead and approve the changes within the JPA of the Law Enforcement Center? We will meet one more time this month prior to the LEC meeting, but I would certainly like to get this knocked off our agenda, both at the county level and the LEC level. Sooner we can go ahead and approve our portion of it, the other entities can approve it within their own governing bodies, and then get that to the LEC for their final approval. And it shouldn't go beyond the next meeting of the LEC, which is 19th of February. I think.
I didn't see anything that we hadn't discussed before, so I would move to approve
20th.
the joint powers agreement.
Okay. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second to go ahead and approve the joint powers agreement as amended. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Thank you. Opioid lawsuit claim. Daniel.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm not quite sure how familiar everybody is with the opioid lawsuit claim that Ramsey County has contracted with the, let's see, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that, Nakawati Law Group. They are the legal representation for the county as it relates to the opioid lawsuit. Currently, they're essentially just managing the payments coming in from these pharmacies. The issue for the commission today is one of the named pharmacies or businesses as part of this lawsuit is Kroger grocery stores and pharmacies. That is it's a chain down south. I'm from Texas. It's a big chain down there, but there are no Kroger stores or subsidiaries of any sort anywhere near North Dakota or in any of the neighboring states. And so the recommendation from the group representing the county in this situation is recommending that we release Kroger from at least our part in the lawsuit, essentially indemnifying Kroger from any payments made to Ramsey County. For more detail, it is less than 2% of any damages that may be attributed to Ramsey County or to North Dakota generally. So the recommendation is to release Kroger. We don't receive any payments from them. We receive small amounts as far as the county is concerned. For instance, Walmart will be paying this month $3,309.93. Walgreens will pay $1,290.54. Walgreens, that will be their first payment. Walgreens will make a second payment of $851.84, and CVS will pay $1,099.99. Kroger will make no payment. So the recommendation is to release them, and so we would need a vote from the board essentially approving, releasing, and indemnifying Kroger from any responsibility in this suit as it relates to Ramsey County. Any questions, any decoding needed there?
But it should be done in a form of a motion to allow myself to go ahead and sign off on that as a county's representative
That is correct,
for the
Jeff.
lawsuit.
We would need a vote of the board in order to release. They were originally asking Bo to essentially make that decision, but he notified that he does not have that power, and that is solely resting with the commission to do.
I move to go ahead with the recommendation of the state's attorney's office to release Kroger from the lawsuit.
I'll second.
A motion and a second that we go ahead and release Kroger from the lawsuit as based on recommendations from state's attorney and legal representatives from Schwati Law Group. So, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else, Daniel, on that?
Nothing further from the state attorney's office.
Okay. Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
Bringing up to the next item on the agenda would be the 2023 budget amendments. We received budget amendments from Candy for 2023 operating year. Kevin, can you refresh my memory for the blacktop that was not spent last year?
That was for the ER projects, the flood projects we had in 22 that we waited for so long to get money.
Gotcha.
I think the comment I have with this amendment is looking at the percent that's being unused. I'm not so sure we wouldn't be more prudent in future budgets to tighten that up a little bit.
Have these underspent budgets been consistent over the years? People, departments budgeting more money than necessary?
I mean, I could do a comparison.
Yeah. And so as we move into budget season, is what you're thinking, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know Commissioner Otis and I had this conversation about why some of this does happen, and a lot of times it's some of our larger departments, highway, sheriff's department, and it's loss of staff mid-year, and staff
Right.
comes, works out to be a lot of money left over sometimes if those positions can't be filled. You take the tax office, it's just Beth in there, has been for probably close to 6 months, I think, since Christie had left, and so she's gonna be certainly under budget significantly just with that one staff individual that they've had problems filling. So those are some of the issues with the expenditures not being spent and budgeted for. But yeah, I think Bill hits the nail on the head. If we can tighten up some of these budgets, if we're not gonna spend them all, or if there's significant carryover consistently in various departments, maybe we need to shore that up, and so we're not asking taxpayers to fund something that we're not spending.
Yeah, it would seem if we could tighten that up some, it would definitely help the taxpayers for our request.
Yeah.
And not take away from salary adjustments.
The majority of this carryover comes back to general, correct, Candy? It doesn't go back to that individual department?
In the top portion.
In the top portion,
Yeah.
right. So it's beneficial for those departments to budget tightly and spend within their budgets and those kind of things as we move forward. But for this, I think it looks really good. We basically underspent our budget. We had carryover left over.
some of this, like this prairie dog stuff, that's gonna get spent this year.
Correct.
So I mean, that's,
It's kinda, yeah, just
it's,
moves
you know, I
on.
mean, that,
Yeah.
you know, that's gonna take 300,000 off that number right away and move it into your budget. I mean, so technically, you're gonna be overspent this year because it was,
Well, I
no, because you took
budgeted,
that into account,
yeah,
so,
I budgeted this year for it.
so last year, it's gonna look different than it will this year.
Yeah, correct, that's, yeah,
And then with the snow tent as well, I mean, that was
yeah, good
more
point.
money that,
If you take those two items, there's not that much difference left.
no,
No,
Really? That's the way you're looking at it?
yeah, but
That's the way I
still,
look
I
at it
mean,
too.
I still agree that it should be.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's state funds that got dropped into that budget.
Right, because if you,
That we could,
Couldn't
you know,
measure
the prairie dog fund, you could take that into your budget last year because you weren't sure you were gonna get it. until
Correct, yep.
It showed up, so.
but if you take those two items out of there, and you take the wages that were not paid out, such as Beth's and yours, what, you were down 3 guys at one
Four.
time, 4 guys. You start figuring out those wages, I bet you that's close to $100,000. If you figured 4 months, and then you figure her 6 months, you know, which that's justifiable. Because the department, they're gonna be able to justify that when they come back.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, because you're not doing without, you were at that time, but you're not doing the following year. I mean, if the question was asked, how did this get so far out of whack? You know, I think the justification is there.
well, and really, it's not overly out of whack, it's within 10%.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
So out of a $5.2 million budget, you know, from general funds, 540,000, 43,000 left over. So that's some really good budgeting from our departments. And had you been fully staffed and you've been fully staffed the entire year, that would have been really, really close
yeah, exactly.
to being a, so. Salaries and benefits add up in a hurry, so, but good job with the budget amendments, Candy.
Yeah, when you see the numbers like this, it
You know,
makes a lot more sense. And you can take the numbers like Lee just said, and you can figure out in your head how fast where the numbers go, and I think that's what you're saying too, right?
It just seems like that we can tighten this up a little bit.
So we need a motion.
Yep.
I'll move to accept the amended budgets of 23.
Second.
Motion and a second to go ahead and approve the budget amendment for 2023. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Volk,
Aye.
Gessner,
Aye.
Wilhelmie,
Aye.
Otis,
Alright.
Brett.
Aye. Budget amendments are approved. Thank you, Candy, for the hard work there and the department heads and everybody that put that effort in. Not an overabundance of red numbers on that spreadsheet. So, good job, everybody. Any other new business? Visitors and delegations. Crickets. Portfolio announcements.
Fair Board got some good news from the city, I believe it was last night, where it was recommended by the city administrator that 5,000 for 5 years.
25.
Or 25,000 for 5 years for the building, and, a couple other, farmers union, is gonna, as soon as the project starts, it pledge 30,000, so there's some substantial donations coming into that. And zoning. Was it what, 10 proposals?
First part, you know where they have raised already.
Last, number I seen with the counties was 1.6, but we've gotta be close to that second $1 million now, cause they've had some.
Because the question gets asked, and so anything else I keep.
It's gonna be close to 2 million, I don't know how close, but there's been some,
Which is great.
you know, there's been some pledges for over the years, and I don't think that she's taking those, you know.
They're definitely gonna be able to match what we said, which is the huge.
And there's some other grants that they're reapplying for,
A lot of positives out there for that fair board.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Have there been some discussion on cement or no cement?
I think I couldn't make the last meeting. I was out of town. That has gone up so much that we don't know if we're gonna be able to do the cement right away. So just because of the cost from then until now. But it's still, as far as I know, still on the table.
Commissioner Mulhern.
From the superintendent's office, the Edmore dissolution, so that's probably not going as quickly as most parties would like it to, but I think it's April, there's a meeting set for.
April 9th at 5:30 in the auditorium. Anything else? That's
The only major thing.
But I don't have a whole lot to add. You know, the jail continues to plug along and average, I don't know, a little over 50 inmates a day. We'd like to see those numbers obviously a little higher from our outside entities, but can't force people to stay there, but I think it's going good.
In the black.
It's in the black, so. And airport, we'll have some good exciting news coming up here later on, probably this month. Stay tuned for that. And yeah.
Jeff, did you want to mention anything about the meeting we had?
We certainly could. Long-range building committee for the law enforcement center. We had a meeting put together by Sheriff Lang, other law enforcement officials from across the area. I think Towner County, Trail County, the counties that are involved currently in the LEC, Benson, Eddy, Nelson, were all represented there. Walsh County was there. Cavalier County. And as, you know, it's probably no secret that the LEC board is authorized a feasibility study for the potential of a new facility. And how that facility looks or where it's gonna be located is yet to be determined, but the initial steps are in place to start investigating that with the firm out of Indiana for the feasibility study on that. And for those that think that the jail is only 50 years old, it should last another 50. I would invite them to go in, take a tour of that. We're giving tours of the facility and just pointing out how the business of corrections has changed over the past 5 decades, dramatically changed in how it's staffed, how inmates are housed, different things like that. We can operate a bigger jail more efficiently with the same number or maybe even reduced number of staff, based upon how that building is structured and inmates gonna be observed, kind of thing. So, we'll be looking at a lot of state and federal help with some funding opportunities, hopefully, and because any building that you put together is not cheap, but, you know, the expense of transporting inmates to other jurisdictions would be astronomical. So, and I think it's imperative that we start planning for this process now instead of, you know, when the time comes and they wait until they shut us down because of building facility doesn't meet the criteria set forth by the state or federal governments. So we will continue pursuing that, so.
Who's got most project on it?
Well, sounds like they're moving forward with their project. It's gonna be a smaller facility.
45 bed facility.
And right now, I think they're limited to about 16 in that community. But, you know, if you take a look at Ramsey County's daily population, we average about 37 inmates a day. So a 50-bed facility wouldn't do justice. It would be basically our expense alone, and we'd have no room for anybody else's inmates. And that's kind of where we potentially can make some money as outside contracts, whether it be contracts with counties throughout the state DOCR, or the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So a lot of moving parts within operation of a jail, and hopefully it's moving forward. So. Anything else you wanted to mention on that, Brian?
No, I just think it was a really good meeting. Some of the other counties had some good input. There was interest in using our facility if we were to build a bigger facility, so everybody's feeling the same thing. A lot of jails are being closed down and there's nowhere to go.
So, stay tuned. Bill, anything?
Nope.
Wayne?
Public health is plugging along. Some grants, we lost some grants, gained some grants. We didn't receive the COVID shot from the state like before where it was free, so that's some cost there. So that was some ups and downs. Yeah, other than that, plugging along. I wasn't able to get to the lake access, but I know they're doing all right because the snow was not here, so we don't have a lot of overhead as far as pushing snow this year. Other than that, I think 911 was good. But I don't have anything else.
All right. Any other announcements? Candy, anything?
Nope.
Talk about petitions for commissioners,
Oh,
deadlines.
yes, yes. For those, for those that are wanting to, do petitions, if you'd like to run again, just let me know.
And the deadline for petitions to be turned in is April something.
Yeah. 4 o'clock,
Be like Tuesday the 9th or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. right around the corner.
Yeah,
I think
85
there's-
signatures.
I think there's 3 positions open on the commission for re-election this term. So get your petitions out there, get signatures on there, and really if you plan on running, you always get more than the signatures than needed. Because they will kick some out because they're either ineligible or don't qualify for some particular reason. But just wanted to put that out there for a reminder for everybody, and with that, I think meeting adjourned.